Hey, welcome everybody. Tony Porter, Tabletop Baseball Digest, and here we are with Game 4 of the 1973 World Series replay using time travel baseball. I don't know if you've heard about time travel baseball, but it has an amazingly energetic and vibrant Facebook community um, led by Ivan and his usual suspects. I think that you should check out that Facebook group. And there's so many, different materials in the file section that you can pull, and you can try out this great game. So here on the screen, you see one of the classic ads for this game that's been around since at least 1980 that I know of. Here's what you get: two colorful baseball diamonds, hundreds of ball player cards, 32 rare event gamble cards, including 16 error cards and 16 talent cards, four pitcher at bat cards, basic instructions, game scorecard, how to score baseball games sheet, basic game score sheet, master game score sheet, pair of dice, tips for advanced fans sheet, tips for master fans sheet, roster records and ratings sheet, new features sheet, runner reaction chart, and strategy guide. It features true to life player performances, hundreds of cards, basic, advanced, and master games for fans of all ages, patented free agent draft, all stars, Hall of Famers, 21st century play, you manage, they perform. Pit Hall of Famers against today's premier players and see how they would measure up. So this is a little bit on time travel baseball before I get started with the game. It is Game 4 of the 1973 World Series, played at Shea Stadium in beautiful downtown Queens, New York. A hop, skip, and a jump from LaGuardia Airport and right across the Grand Central Parkway. And then, of course, if you follow that into the Midtown Tunnel, you can ultimately get into Midtown Manhattan, about 20 minutes away. And it's going to be John Matlcak versus Kenny Holtzman. It's a replay of Game 1. And the A's won that one. It was a tight contest. I think they won it 3-2 or 2-1 or something to that effect. Anyway, get ready for the game. This is Tony Porter. Remember to like and subscribe. And it's Tabletop Baseball Digest, bringing you the 1973 World Series Game 4. All right, so one cool aspect of this game, there are many. First of all, this is a great game to play at any time you have, family over, right? You want to play with your niece or nephew in their 20s, college age, great. You want to play with somebody older, great. You want to play with somebody younger, this will help them read, because I will be pulling something that's called gamble cards that help direct the game and bring you unusual events or errors or just unique plays, right? Something with cards that bring out the flavor of baseball. They're beautiful. And I was lucky enough to pick up a classic set of those cards on eBay a couple of years ago, and I'm happy with those. They are not the modern set. The modern set look like these, right? These are the modern set. This is also good if you have eye issues. Okay, so this is a modern set. The classic set looks more like this for younger people, smaller print and so on. But this is so cool and so beautiful that I decided I was going to go with a classic look. And then, of course, I protected them because they were in mint condition when I got them. It seems that the designer's son had a lot of extra stuff and he started selling it. So another cool thing about this game is all you need is the strategy guide. Both sides will give you the basic game that you need to play. It has a nice retro flavor to it, a nice retro language. Now, I would love to see this chart in like typewriter font. The classic typewriter font like you get in this sort of thing right here. Right? If you see that, that would be very cool, that kind of typewriter lettering. Very, very cool. I would like to see this more classic. This is kind of fairly clean and printed out and so on. But anyway, that's great that you don't have to go through 100 charts to play this game. On my left side, I will be using iScore. For some things, I do use iScore, but more and more I'm using Digital Dice Baseball, and I will have some tutorials on there. There is a little bit of a learning curve. I will not lie to you. Definitely is there is a little bit of a learning curve that you'll have to deal with as you learn the input strokes or the input keys to how to get things done. But once you give your brain a chance to pick up on it, you'll do okay. All right, so just be patient with yourself when learning something new, and I highly encourage you to learn, whether it's new games or new technology, and take your time. There's no rush, and over time you will get it, I promise you. All right, so let's get started with the game. It's John Matlcak on the mound. He's left-hander versus Bird Campaneris. There are splits in this game as well. So let's roll, and the way you play this would be off the pitcher card because the red 2 is higher than the white 1, and obviously the pitcher card is red. I wish more companies did this sort of thing, because look how easy it is for me to separate pitchers from the batters, right? Because the border is black on the batters and it's red on the pitchers, so I can quickly put all the pitchers together and go through. So if I need a pitcher, I look here. If I need a batter, that's something that you don't get with a lot of sets, right? For example, let me show you this. And this is not a critique. It's just a kind of a demonstration of the difference. So if I want to look for a pitcher, then of course I would have to look in the middle, right? It's just as equally or as quickly discernible. The batters have a left here, and of course the pitchers have a right and center. And if you look at APA, again, it's just quicker for me to be able to look at that framing of it. Anyway, okay, so then if the results were the opposite, a 2-1 with the white, then it would be, you would read it off the batter card. But then you're asking me, and I know that you're thinking this, you're saying, well, what if it's a 6-6? What do I do now? Well, what you do is you pull a gamble card, you turn it over, and you look at the image, and there's a batter right there. It's kind of faint, but your eyes will get adjusted to it, and it tells you to read it off the batter card. Had I pulled a pitcher icon, then it would have been off the pitcher card. Sometimes the result is the same, not always, but sometimes it is, so you don't have to worry about it. And then you could obviously just take that result, right? So you wouldn't even have to pull a gamble card. Anyway, let's get the game started. Here it is, Time Travel Baseball. I hope you enjoy the presentation, and we are ready to roll. First pitch from John Matlcak. It's a 5-3, and that'll be off the pitcher because the red is higher, and it'll be an 8 total. A swing and a miss by Campaneris, and he chases the ball out of the strike zone for the first out of the game. One down, and up comes Joe Rudy, who bats second. I'm using the actual lineups. This is a 5-6 with the 6, the white die being higher, so this will be off Rudy, and that is ball 4. So Rudy shows patience against Matlcak and picks up a walk. He trots down to first base, and he is on at first. Now, this has automatic steals. I think you can steal on your own, but I just use the automatic steals. And Sal Bando, here's the pitch. And that's a 3-3. Remember I told you that if it's doubles, then you got to pull a gamble card, and it's off the batter card, and that's going to be ball 4. You know that Bando is known for having a very good eye, being very patient at the plate. So he shows his patience there. And now the Athletics have runners on first and second. Do I have an extra little? I don't know that I do. I did, but I don't know where it went. I have 4 of these for a couple of days. Not that I need them, and not that I'm going to keep up with this. Just kind of a novelty for the first at bat. Yeah, it vanished. Could be under here. Who knows where it is? I'm not going to worry about that right now. All right. Anyway, let us continue. The pitch, it's a 4, and that's going to be a base hit single. Now, there's runners on first and second, and the single is going to say faster daring runner takes other runners score. Okay, so let's see. So it's a single. Runner on first moves to second. Faster daring takes third. So let's see, first of all, who is... I have Jackson up. Okay, so Rudy's on first. Sal Bando's on first. He is fast, so he will take third on this. Rudy will come around to score. So a single by Jackson to right center field, and scoring is 1, and going to third is another, and now we have runners on first and third. So that was, let's see, Campy made the first out, and now it is Gene Tennis with runners on first and third. All right, and we can just do this. All right, so Matlcak gets a sign from Grody. He sets, right? You set when there's runners on base, and you wind when there's no runners on base. Now, there are some, outliers where pitchers do something a little bit differently, but not always. Gene Tennis, pitch from Matlcak. And that's a 6-6 double, so that's going to be this is going to be trouble. It's either a double or a double, but there are two different types of doubles, so we're going to have to pull a card. It's off the pitcher in a pop fly double. A pop fly double tells us batter reaches second, runners advance 2 bases with 2 out, runners advance 3 bases. Holy smokes. So there aren't 2 outs, there's only 1 out, so that's going to be an RBI double, and that's a drive in the gap, and that's going to split the outfielders and roll to the wall. Coming around to score is whoever was on base, one of the runners, and the other runner will go to, that was Bando, comes around to score, and then going to third will be Jackson. Stopping at second base, pulling up with a double, an RBI double is Gene Tennis. So the Athletics are coming out swinging here, that's for sure. We got only 1 out, and Jesus Alou is coming to bat. Here's Matlcak with the pitch. The infield is in 7 off the pitcher card, and that's taking gamble card. So let's see what happens with a runner on third. Batter scrambles from an inside pitch. A fist fight breaks out. Umpire tosses the batter and the pitcher out of the ball game. Holy smokes! That's an inside pitch, and Jesus Alou doesn't like it, and he gets into words with Matlcak, and Alou are going to go at it, and both benches empty. They clear out. There's a lot of pushing and shoving going on. The umpires get involved. They separate everybody, and now both the batter, Alou, and the pitcher, Matlcak, have been ejected, and unfortunately for the Mets, this is going to kill the Mets. It doesn't hurt the Athletics very much because they can just bring in somebody else. We'll bring in the guy named Davila. We just got his card sent to us. Remember to join the Facebook group, Time Travel Fans. Vic Davila, they sent me this card. So Davila will come in. He'll be the pinch runner. He will play right field. And new pitcher for the Mets. Who's that going to be? That's the question. New pitcher for the Mets. I don't even know who they used. All right, we're still in the first inning. There's 1 out. There's runners on second and third, and Angel Mangual is going to take over. 0-1 count. Actually, 1-0 count. And Ray Sadecki's going to be on the mound for the Mets. Let's see what happens. Here's the pitch, and that's going to be a 3, and a 3 is a sharp hit ground ball. The infield is in on this one. And let's see what happens. Infield in with the runner on third. Fielding team's manager may hinder man on third from a quick ground out moving before the dice roll. Infield in results hard ground out. Batter is out. Runners hold unless sharp ground out changes to a chop ground out. Okay, so chop ground out. Let's see what that is. And the chop ground batter reaches first base on the field. Head runner is out. So they will try to score as Jackson, and the throw to the plate has him, so he is out. So Mangual hits into a ground ball to the left side, and Harrelson whips it home. Jerry Grody tags Jackson. So there's going to be a fielder's choice here. 6-2 and safe at first base. Let me do this a different way. Okay, so it's going to be a fielder's choice. 6-2. Runner out at home. Tag down 6-2. I just wrote that, but that's okay. Everybody else advances and are safe. So Mangual is safe at first, and it's going to be Ray Fosse. 2 outs now. In the top of the first inning, the A's lead it by 2-0. Here's the pitch. It's an 11, and 11 is ball 4, so they walk Ray Fosse. And that's going to bring up Dick Green. Ray Sadecki gets the sign from Brody. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Top of the first. Mets already trail 2-0. Here it is. And that is a 6, and a 6 is a sharp ground ball hit to the left side, and that is Bud Harrelson. Goes to second beyond for the force, and that retires the side. Wow, that was a long inning to get through. That was a long inning to get through. But we made it. So it's a 6-4 force out, and it's going to be Wayne Garrett leading off. All right, so we're in the top of the 4th inning, and the Athletics scored a couple more runs. They lead it 4-1. It was a home run by Staub, making the score 2-1, and then, of course, it was a double and an error on the right fielder, Rusty Staub, that allowed run 3 to score. It was 3-1, and then up came Angel Mangual, who replaced the ejected earlier player. Who was that was ejected? I can't remember off the top of my head. It was Jesus Alou was ejected for fighting with John Matlcak after Matlcak brushed him back, and Mangual came up to the plate and blasted a dinger to left center field off of Ray Sadecki, who's still in there. It's Kenny Holtzman leading off, and let's roll for Kenny Holtzman. That's an 11 off Holtzman's card, and that's going to be a deep fly ball to right field. Back goes Jones a few steps, and he's under it, makes the catch. All right, so next up is Campy, 1 out here in the top of the 4th inning. 4-1 A's. The A's lead the series 3-1. That's a 7. We're going to pull a gamble card on Campy. And with nobody on base, it's a rocket off the pitcher's glove, rolls into center field for a double facing pitcher 1 infield lineout. So Sadecki is a pitcher 0, so he won't get that advantage. So it's going to be a ball that's hit off Sadecki's glove, rolls into center field, digging for second is Campy, and he's in there with a double. So Joe Rudy now. Here's the pitch, and that's a 5, and it's a deep fly ball to left field. Jones takes a few steps back and waits for it, and that is out number 2. Faking the tag as Campy goes back to second base, and Salbando steps into the plate. He bats right-handed against Ray Sadecki, so he does have the advantage. The following batter is Reggie Jackson. Here's the pitch, and that's a 2-2. It's a strikeout or it's a deep fly out. Doesn't really matter. It's still an out, but we'll pull a card anyway and look at the picture. The picture says it is a strikeout. So Sadecki gives him a big curveball, which he goes after and swings and misses at it way out in front. And we go to the bottom of the 4th inning. Playing time travel baseball. Check out all the file section. You can play this game for practically very, very little, if not nothing. It's going to be a 4 off the batter, and that's a deep fly ball off the bat of Rusty in the gap, and Angel Mangual on the run and runs it down. Angel read it well right off the bat, so Rusty's hitting the ball hard, hit a home run earlier today, but no luck here. So Angel Mangual robs Rusty of potentially a double, and here's Cleon Jones. Cleon Jones today's doubled as well. He's 1 for 1. And that's going to be a 9 off the pitcher card, and that's an infield fly, and Campy and Green on the outfield grass. Reggie Jackson's coming in hard, but no, Campy's calling him off, and Campy makes the catch. And it's a little bit of an ice cream cone catch there by Campy Campaneris. So 2 out now, and it's John Milner. John Milner, left-handed batter, and that's a 6 off the sharp hit ground ball to the second baseman Green. He's up with it over to first and in time. That is the end of an inning. We go to the top of the 5th inning. Sadecki's still in there. He replaced John Matlcak in the top of the 1st when John Matlcak and Jesus Alou got into it on a brushback pitch. All right, we are in the top of the 6th inning. It is Sadecki versus Dick Green. The score is 4-1 Athletics. Athletics, 4 runs, 5 hits, no errors, 6 left on base. The Mets, 1 run, 2 hits, 2 errors, and 1 left on base. Here's the pitch, and that's a 9. Hard hit ground ball to the right side, and it's Wayne Garrett comes up with it, fires to first in time, 5-3. Next is Kenny Holtzman. Snake eyes on Kenny Holtzman, and that is going to be a base hit single for Kenny Holtzman. And it's Campaneris now. And that's a 7. We're gonna have to pull a gamble card there off the pitcher. And with the runner on first, double past second base. If either shortstop or second base has a star 3 on his flash card, play as a chop ground out. So let's look at Harrelson or Mian. Mian does not. How about Harrelson? And Harrelson does not. So that's going to be a double past second base if either shortstop or second base. So it's going to be second, unless he is, Holtzman is going to stop at third base. They're going to hold him up at third base because he's not daring. So he will not score on that. And on a double, you'll see batter, faster, daring, man is safe. All right. So it's now Joe Rudy. And we're going to intentionally walk Joe Rudy. And then we are going to the bullpen here. It will be Harry Parker to face Bando with the bases loaded. We are in the top of the 6th inning. The Athletics lead at 4-1. They lead the series 2-1. Replaying the 1973 World Series using time, travel, baseball. How do you like it? What do you think? Let us know in the comments. Remember to like and subscribe. Here is the pitch to Bando. Yeah, Mets infield is going to be in at the corners, middle halfway with a 9. And a 9 is a hard hit ground ball, and that's going to be he's a 6-4-3 double play, and the Mets get out of it. And let's double check that hard ground ball. Alert defense pulls off a double play. Yes, it does. No runs scored, so the Mets get out of trouble. Thanks to me, who kept that middle infield halfway. Otherwise, we wouldn't have gotten that double play. All right, so Bando, they walk Rudy ahead of Bando, load the bases, and put a runner on first base to try to get that double play. And Harry Parker gets the job done. Kenny Holtzman, bottom of the 6th. Mets see if they can mount a comeback. So Harry Parker will lead off here, and we'll pull him for a pinch hitter. It's going to be Ron Hodges pinch hitting. Oh, no, actually, Ron Hodges is right. It's going to be Willie Mays, excuse me. Willie Mays will be pinch hitting. And here's the pitch. It's going to be a 7, and that's a high fly ball. Center field, Reggie Jackson. Over, under it, squeezes it. Out number 1. Wayne Garrett now, he's lefty hitter. Pitch from Wines and Deals. Holtzman with a 7, and that's a high fly ball. This time it's to right down the line, and Mangua, will he get there? Yes, in foul ground. Comes up with it. So Angel Mangua contributing here. A early first inning replacement to the ejected, who was that? Jesus Alou, after the fist fight with John Matlcak. And the Mets got the worst of it. They lost Matlcak, their starting pitcher. Here's Felix Mian, 2 out, nobody on, bottom of the 6th. And it's a 3 off the pitcher, and that's a ground ball up the middle and through for a base hit. A 2-out single for Felix Mian, who chokes up about 10 inches on that bat. Longtime Met, I think he started out with the Atlanta Braves. And here is Rusty Staub. So Rusty Staub on deck is Cleon Jones. He is the tying run. So Kenny Holtzman gets the sign from Ray Fosse, looks over at Mian. Mian's not going anywhere, down by 3 runs. And he sets and deals to Staub, and that's going to be an 8, and that's chopped to second base. Charging is Green, sidearms it, and in time. So a 4-3 put out for the 3rd out. All right, so first 2 Athletics here in the top of the 7th get on against Tug McGraw, and it's Ray Fosse. And here's the pitch from McGraw, and Ray Fosse drives one into the gap, and that's going to fall in there. 1 hop off the wall. Coming in to score is Gene Tennis, followed by Angel Mangua, and here's the throw to the plate, and he is safe. And that is going to be a 2-run double by Ray Fosse, and that practically puts this game out of reach For the Mets, it is now 6-1 here in the top of the 7th inning. It is Dick Green. All right, Bud Harrelson now leads off the bottom of the 8th inning. The Mets trail 6-1. Holtzman is still on the mound. The infield for the A's from third base to first base is Bando, Campy, Green, and Tennis. The outfield from left to right is Rudy, Jackson, and Mangual. Behind the plate is Ray Fosse. So Holtzman, the pitch, and that's a 4 off Harrelson's carton. That's a swing and a miss. He chases a ball out of the zone and strikes out. We're going to have a pinch hitter. It's going to be bat to the bone, George Theodore. So George Theodore comes in to pinch hit, and we just have to find his. Why do I not have him on my list when I've used him in the past? And it doesn't seem I have him here, George Theodore. That's strange. All right, let's put him in there. And here it is. Here's the pitch. And that's an 8 off Theodore. That's chopped to the left side. Campy charges, fires on the run in time. 6-3 put out. And that will be out number 2 of the inning. The Mets are running out of outs. They're down to the last 4 outs. Here's Wayne Garrett, who leads off in the bottom of the 8th with 2 outs. So they turn around the lineup. And that's going to be a 6, and a 6 is a sharply hit ground ball to Gene Tennis at first. Flips to Holtzman covering for out number 3. So that's a 3-1 put out. And it's going to be Reggie Jackson leads off against new pitcher now. It's going to be George Stone coming in. This is the 5th Mets pitcher of the day. Remember, Matlcak was ejected in the first inning for a fist fight with Jesus Alou. And here's the pitch to Jackson, an 8, and that's a chopper to the right side. And Mian, he'll make the play. 1 down. Gene Tennis now. Tennis is 1 for 2 with a double, a flat, and a couple of walks. And that's a 4-4. It's either a strikeout or a walk, depending on whose card it is off Tennis's card. That's his 3rd walk of the game. Base on balls. Once again, Tennis shows his patience. And he did walk a lot, historically. Here's Angel Mangual. Here's the pitch from Stone, and that's a 3 off the pitcher, and that's ball 4. So back-to-back walks allowed by George Stone. He's lost the plate a little bit. Not one of those last 4 pitches he's thrown was anywhere near the strike zone. Here's Ray Fosse with 1 out and 2 on. The A's lead it 6-1. And the pitch, and that's going to be a 6 off the pitcher card. That's a sharply hit ground ball to the shortstop Harrelson, who flips to Mian, back to first in time. 6-4-3 double play. And the Mets turn it again to get out of that inning. Go to top of the 9th. Excuse me, it's the bottom of the 9th. Last licks for the Mets. It's going to be Mian, Staub, and Jones against Kenny Holtzman, who's going for the complete game. Here's the pitch. And actually doesn't have shutout. So it's going to be a 7 off of the pitcher card, and that's take a gamble. So we're looking at the gamble card where it says none, and batter reaches first base, and on second baseman's fumble of a bouncer. Alert, he is not alert. So that's going to be a ground ball to second base, and Green boots it. Oh boy. And that's going to put a Met on base. The runner on deck is going to be Cleon Jones. He will and at the plate now it's Rusty Staub. The Mets are down 6-1, so they have a way to go. Rusty Staub now steps into the box. He bats from the left side. He is 1 for 3 today with a home run, and that's going to be an 8 off the pitcher card. And he checks his swing to check with the third base umpire, and he rings him up, and Staub doesn't like that call at all. Gives him the evil eye at third base. And here's Cleon Jones. He steps in the box. He's 1 for 3, a double and a fly out and a ground out today. Here's the pitch from Holtzman. Snake eyes. That's a deep drive to right field. Left center field. And Rudy back to the track, and that ball's gone. 2-run shot for Cleon Jones. He got all of that one. There was no doubt. That's into the parking lot here at Shea Stadium. John Milner with one out. The score is 6-3 now. And it looks like they're going to go to the bullpen. They are. The Athletics are going to go to the bullpen. They're going to call on the always reliable Raleigh Fingers. So here comes Raleigh Fingers, and Holtzman had a great night. Went 8 1/3, allowed 5 hits, 3 runs, 2 on, and he is ahead 6-3. Raleigh Fingers is out here to get 2 outs. Let's see if he can do that. There's nobody on base, 1 out, and the Mets trail by 3 runs. Here's the pitch. And that is going to be a 5 off the pitcher card, and that's a deep fly ball to right field. Mangual goes back to the track, looks up, and makes the catch. Pulls it down. That is John Milner with a deep drive, but not deep enough. Mangual was able to grab it. And here is Jerry Grody now against Raleigh Fingers. 2 outs, so the Mets are down to their last out. And here's the pitch, and that is a 6 off the pitcher card, and that's a sharply hit ground ball to the shortstop. Campanera scoops it up, throws to first in time, and the ball game is over. The Mets are down 3-1 now, going back to, I believe, wait, do they have another game here at home? They're down 3-1. Yes, they have one more game here and it's going to be Jerry Koosman going for the Mets in the following game against Vita Blue. In this game, it was Kenny Holtzman. It was all Kenny Holtzman. He was in control of this game throughout and only allowed 5 hits. So the Mets offense really struggled in this one. And the Mets now trail in this Time Travel Baseball series. Remember to check out the Facebook group for Time Travel Baseball. It has so many great files, so many great teams. It has a lot of add-ons to the game. This game is super easy to play, and the gamble cards always bring in a twist to the game that makes it really interesting. You never know what's going to happen, and I really like that aspect of that feature in this ball game, which other games don't have that. Matlcak will get the loss. He gave up a couple of runs early in the inning before being ejected. The save will go to Raleigh Fingers, and that's about it. The final score here at Shea Stadium in 1973 for Game 4 is the Athletics 6, the Mets 3, the A's 6, 9, 0, and 10 left on base. The Mets were 3, 5, 2, and 3 left on base. Thanks for watching. Remember to like and subscribe. And Universal Baseball Association Facebook group, join that as well, and you'll get tons of information and on the latest topics in our tabletop baseball hobby. I will see you soon. Tony Porter. Adios. What the heck? Hey guys, the 1973 World Series is one of my favorite World Series of all time. You can watch it on YouTube. And I really feel it's special because the Mets had their classic '69 team, and they were really an underdog in this, facing the dynastic Oakland Athletics, who had power, speed, pitching, everything. They had it all. And the Mets were really unknowns who had a little kind of flash of greatness in the '69 World Series. It was mostly the same team with a couple of changes here and there. But I think it's interesting because the Mets barely won their division, whereas the Athletics were strong throughout the season. Yet the Mets took it to Game 7, and of course the Mets had great pitching as well. Matlcak and Koosman and Seaver were all in their prime, and that's probably one of the reasons I keep on playing the 1973 World Series with so many sets. A couple of guys have asked me, how many different times have you played the 73 World Series? And that's a good point. I played it various times and will continue to do so. I also like other World Series as well. I like the 2001 World Series. Like that a lot. I've played that several times. And I play the modern World Series constantly. But those are pretty much, I like the 2000 World Series also because it was a Subway Series between the Mets and the Yankees. And what other World Series have I liked? The '69 World Series is also a fun World Series to play. Mets versus the Orioles, and the 1975 World Series with the Red Sox and the Reds. That's another one, easy and fun to play. Also, I've played a lot of World Series using Stratomatic throughout the 60s, all the different 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, I believe. I had sets, card sets for all those World Series, and I played those. Those were fun to play as well. So anyway, Tony Porter, thanks for watching. Remember to like and subscribe. I will see you guys soon. Take care.